Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now, this is a general Gods at Play reading for the full moon. I've already done oracle card readings for each individual sign. Link down below to the playlist, obviously. I'm going to say link down below a few times here. So, what's your sun, your moon, your rising? Now, these Gods at Play readings, if you've seen them before, by their very, very nature, they are dramatic. They are looking at the masks that the archons are wearing to keep you separate from your divine purpose, and the gods that are working with you and that are on your side, trying to lift you up and reconnect you with your higher self, God, the divine, however you want to look at it. And because of the cards that I use, a selection of oracle decks, they are by their very nature dramatic, which makes them so much fun. But it is a general reading. So, and it's not even necessarily a reading where it's describing what's going on for you right now. It is a look at energies that can be around you, and it's something to file away and enjoy. And you may see situations that you're going through already in the reading, or you may not. And if you don't, go and watch your moon, go and watch your rising. In fact, always watch your rising. If you've got a choice, watch your rising. Now, it is an eclipse, so I suppose your sun and your moon are quite important on this one as well. But don't give away your power. Don't depend on what any YouTube tarot reader says. These readings are officially for entertainment purposes only. But more to the point, it is a form of entertainment because it's there for confirmation. You should be able to hear things that activate your confirmation bias, or basically just go, yeah, I know what that's on about. Now, also down there is a link to the show that I did with astrologer David Fisher, looking at the astrology of the full moon, super moon, blood moon, flower moon. Yes, power moon. No, flower moon. Total lunar eclipse. So as you can imagine, it's a bit of an event. We're in eclipse season now. These next 2 weeks between the lunar and the solar eclipses are considered to be a portal in and of themselves. I know this lunar eclipse is considered to be really good for opening portals for other realms. I will say, yes, now I wrote this down somewhere. If you have any Virgo in your chart, watch the Virgo reading, which is the second half. Timestamp down below as ever, because I'm going to waffle about the moon a little bit first and then get to the reading by jumping ahead to the timestamp. But please listen to my waffle at least once, because I think you might find something of value, hopefully. But if you have any Virgo in your chart, go and watch the Virgo reading. And if you are a Pisces sun, go and watch the Virgo reading, because if you think about it, Pisces sun means Earth in Virgo, and it's a doozy. But that Pisces Virgo axis, because I've just literally done the Pisces reading, and to be quite honest, that was a doozy as well. So if you've got anything on that Pisces Virgo axis, go and watch both of them, to be quite honest. Right, so with this reading, you can ask a question beforehand. It's not one where I guarantee that you'll be able to tell if there's an answer or not. It's not like the monthlies or my sun with moon rising combination readings, where you can either tell, yeah, this is for me, this isn't for me. So it's I don't like saying take what resonates, because it just sounds so formulaic. But if the whole thing resonates, take it. And if the whole thing doesn't resonate, don't take it. I'm much more a fan of having the whole reading or not little bits. Now, obviously, I'm a YouTube channel. I'm trying, yes, I'm personally a YouTube channel. I'm trying to grow the channel, so I will be very grateful if you would like the video. Once you've had your reading, you know, give me a good judgment that way. But don't forget to hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do, because it really will help me grow the channel, because I leave my subscriber number public while it's so absolutely and utterly pathetic. So I'm still looking for that magic 1000. So all help gratefully appreciated, and thank you so much to everyone who has. Now there's also a link down there for the Facebook page for this channel, because I don't trust YouTube notifications, but more importantly, I also post on there a lot of the astrology weather report videos that I collect from YouTube. So I try to make it a bit of a one-stop shop. And also it's got its own inbox. So if you want to contact me for a personal reading, that Facebook page is the best way to do it. There is a link tree down there that will take you to my Twitter and to my email and what have you. But trust me, Facebook's the best way to, as probably awful that is to say. Right, that was 5 minutes waffle already, and I haven't even got into the moon. So, in the Oracle card readings, I focused on the South Node. Now, what I want to focus on here is not even so much the lunar eclipse and the symbols of the lunar eclipse itself, apart from the inside degree or Chandra symbol for the 5-degree Sagittarius, where the eclipse is. I love this image. Also, being a Wonder Woman fan helps. A pair of shoes with wings on them. So basically, there's a blessing of Hermes. There is Hermes sandals. But what I want to focus on is Jupiter, because Jupiter is square to this eclipse and ruling this eclipse. Jupiter is at home in Pisces, obviously. It is dignified in Pisces, if you want to say it that way. It is also at home in Sagittarius. Now, I think that there's an extra whammy going on with Pisces. I've spoke about Neptune conjunct Pallas conjunct Orpheus in the Oracle card videos, playlist down below. But Neptune is, if you look at Neptune as the modern ruler, that's energizing Pisces and anything that's in it. You look at Jupiter as the traditional ruler, which I prefer traditional rulerships, it's energizing everything else in Pisces. The two rulers together cannot be a bad thing. Speaking as a Pisces, yes, things will get misty, and yes, things will get cosmic, and yes, things will get really, and this is quite a statement probably for all of Jupiter in Pisces this year and next year. But don't forget, we're going to get reined in by Saturn in a month or so's time as Jupiter goes retrograde. But moving on, the angel ruling Jupiter is Yelahia at 1 degree Pisces. It's actually 1 degree 11 minutes. So I looked up the angel number for that, which says very much it's about manifestation, prosperity, awareness, uniqueness, motivation, and independence. But basically, monitor your thoughts and stay focused. And that focus is a really, really important point. In the Pisces reading that I just finished, it's like your focus needs to be zeroing in and zeroing in and zeroing in. And I wish I'd thought of that image when I was doing the reading, because that's exactly what I was trying to say. But Yelahia, sorry, the angel number 111 is all about monitor your thoughts because you're going to manifest. Jupiter brings abundance. Now, Yelahia is all about sweetening judgment and is a karmic warrior, whatever that happens to mean. And I'm not even going to touch that phrase with the barge pole, because I think I know, but I think the understanding of that term is different for every single person. Because karma is different for every single person. But I like that sweetening judgment aspect. However, it's an eclipse, and as David pointed out to me, certainly in terms of, I think he was looking at the Indian astrology in the terms of the dragon Rahu and Ketu, or parts of the dragon Rahu and Ketu. He was saying that the eclipse is where the light is removed, and so the demonic influence comes in. Now, the demonic influence, this decan is ruled by day by Furfa, Goetic spirit Furfa, or Furta, and by night, Seer. Now, Seer, or Seer, is his natural planet is Jupiter. So the fact that Jupiter in Pisces, in Seer's decan, gives that Jupiter expansiveness extra whammy for me. But it's given extra whammy to that Pisces energy. But let's have a look what Seer is about. Now, I would imagine around the eclipse is a great time, if you're into Goetic evocation, to evoke Seer. But I would cast some divination first, and I'm still apprehensive about doing any hocus pocus during the 14 minutes of the total eclipse. Wait till the sunlight has returned to the moon. And if you're wanting to contact Seer, I would imagine in that 14 minutes, although he is a timeless entity and lives in a realm beyond time, but you know, this time here, so he's going to likely be busy being during those 14 minutes, and therefore after the 14 minutes been in a really good mood. So Seer is actually quite a benevolent entity. Seer is known to increase the longevity of the witch, so that's really quite useful. Certainly when your days are getting on a bit. And he is apt for chakra work, specifically the second chakra, the soul star and the earth star chakra. So literally that he is an embodiment of working with the as above so below, and or the grounding yourself and bringing down white light, if you know the technique from that name. But most traditions have a version of linking yourself to Gaia and then bringing the energy down from the cosmos. Seer engenders the quick occurrence of things and catalyzes stagnated affairs with movement. He enacts the revelation of whatever persons in your life essay to keep you unaware of. So he reveals secrets. He presides over sorcery and brings about the fulfillment and gnosis of the will. So there's an understanding of self there, and there's an understanding of divine self there, or of just the divine. But the next bit is what I've highlighted. The traditional delineation of Seer is as follows, and I love this. His office is to go and come, and to bring abundance of things to pass all of a sudden, and to carry or recarry anything wherever you would have it go or where you would have it from. He can pass over the entire earth in the twinkling of a single eye. He gives a true relation of all sorts of theft and of hidden treasure and of other things. He is of an indifferent good nature and willing to do anything that the summoner requires. And then it talks about how he will help the witch contact higher spheres of light, higher. And you've got to remember that a lot of these Goetic spirits that Solomon worked with have angelic origins. So, you know, they know what they're on about. Now, the actual degree, Angel of the Eclipse degree, is about building bridges, fertility, multiplicity, defeats, this Amael, defeats frustration, despair and depression, but obviously not in that 14 minutes. That's where I would imagine they could rear their head. And then it's up to you to defeat frustration, despair and depression for those 14 minutes. But the minute that light returns, Amael will be there assisting you with that. And there's a huge amount of self-determination I'm seeing about this lunar eclipse. I am actually really, really excited for this lunar eclipse. When I was starting the astrology, I was a bit like, oh God, eclipses, they're all going to be scary. You know, they're as scary as comets. But there's so much that can be drawn, I think, from this eclipse, or that can be opened. There is a wonderful sense of potential. And if this is the start of this 2-week portal, it is something to be celebrated, it is something to be experienced, and it is something to spiritually grab with both hands, in whatever way, shape or form that may mean, because grabbing may be the wrong term. Because the other thing about this 1 degrees Pisces, there was a writer called Franz Baden who did evocations of what he called the degree heads of every degree of the zodiac. Now, 1 degree Pisces is ruled by Shad, who, among other things, inspires technical inventions. So there's this huge problem solving. He will, if you've got a little bit of genius in you, Shad will go, see that genius you've got there? Here, have that, see how you get on with it. Giving that inspiration. And there's power here, the Omega symbol. And if anybody knows where the Omega symbols are from, please do tell me. I've got this list of Omega symbols and I've no idea where they've come from. But this I really like. The Omega symbol for 1 degree Pisces. Remember, this is Jupiter ruling the eclipse, not the eclipse. From deep in the earth, the sound of a waterfall. Now, within that, we've got that sense of building of power, building of potentiality. We've got the idea of the underground stream, that magical current that runs through the earth that magicians and energy workers can tap into, the dragon lines, the ley lines, however you want to say it, with that cleansing sense of water, the waterfall. There's not much more for me. I mean, I've got loads of notes here, but they're all pretty much saying the same thing. This lunar eclipse is a doozy. Take advantage, take precautions. You know, don't do your hocus pocus during the 14 minutes of total blackout, but take advantage. Meditate, sing, dance, do whatever feels right for you that gets your energies tingling, not just your fingers, but the air around your fingers, not just your spine, but the whole air around you. When the air that is around you is part of your sensory input, then yeah, you're well on the way. And with that, let me bring up the cards. Okay, Pisces, well, this Sagittarius lunar eclipse is occurring in your 10th house, which is about your achievements, your status. Some might call it career, but you can include career, but there's more than that. Now, if you're familiar with these Gods at Play readings, you very well know that this top row are the archons, or rather the masks that the archons wear as they are trying to keep you separate from your divine nature, your realization of God, however you want to look at it. And this bottom row are the gods that are lifting you up, that are helping reconnect you with spirit, your own divinity, your higher self, however you want to look at it. And there's a really interesting selection of archontic masks being used against you, Pisces. We start with Typhon, representing anger and rage, Typhon being the unstoppable creature, but then everything else goes a lot more domestic. We have Psyche with sacred union, Vesta with home, hence the domestic look at it, Asclepius with healing, and Inanna with seduction. Now, as you may know, this top row, whatever occurs, this top row is a trap. It's a trap, you know, full on Admiral Akbar, it's a trap. So, excuse my hair flying away a bit, it's been a long day. And there's an element of a love reading here going on as well. Maybe. I mean, it's me. It's not going to be that much love reading, is it? But the traps here, Typhon, in the context of all these other cards, don't be angry at somebody. Oh, I get it. It's literally don't be angry at someone for not being who you want them to be. It's not, because I was initially going to say for not being who they say they are, but I thought that's not true because they feel fairly innocent. So the only reason that they would appear as one thing when they're actually another thing, and they're innocent of trying to appear of that other thing, would be if you are projecting or somebody has sold you a bill of goods. You know, there's but the gods that are supporting you, what I want to pick up first is Uranus, here representing remoteness. So it's not representing that lightning strike. It is the fact that I was thinking about this last night when I did the astrology show with David, because he was telling me prior to the show that Uranus, the planet, is not one that you can necessarily mythologically associate with Uranus, the god, because the energies don't quite gel. But here we're talking about Uranus, the god. On your side, Uranus is the sky. Uranus is the father of all life on Earth, with Gaia being the mother of all life on Earth. He is literally the man in a beard sat on a cloud in the sky. Or rather, he is the sky itself. He is that which the rain comes from. He is that which the sunlight comes from. And if Saturn is the last of the visible planets, then Uranus is the first of the not so visible planets. If you're going by a what's a planet and what's an asteroid, I know Chiron's in there. Before you comment down below, I know Chiron's there, and a few others as well. But no, Saturn is the barrier to the visible light. Saturn is the end of things. But Uranus is that next step up, that higher vibration, transpersonal planet. And the idea of Uranus is infinite because Uranus is the sky. Back to the god now, not the planet. And what I'm feeling here is, no matter what these domestic concerns are or relationship concerns, because it could be that somebody's not quite who you want them to be, and that will cause you to be angry. It could be that someone is trying to seduce you. And again, if it's a career thing, they might be trying to seduce you to come to their company or come work in their department or come work with them somehow or another. You know, so we're not just talking jiggy jiggy here. And also this point of Asclepius. That's a really interesting mask for the archons to be using. Sort of, it immediately makes me think of codependency, where someone may be validating themselves by somebody else and then realizing that this somebody else is not who they think they are, get angry with them because they're not who they think they are, when this poor person is quite innocent because it's not from them that this illusion of who they may be has come in. This seduction energy, I'll be honest, this seduction energy from the mask of Inanna feels different to the energies that I see around Vesta and Psyche here. But also, there's this thought about domestic life. So whether that's family, housemates, roomies, whatever you want to call them, neighbours to a certain extent, but it feels more close to home than that. Don't let them get in the way of what it is that you are wanting to achieve. Because under this lunar eclipse, or more to the point, I want to say after this lunar eclipse, I think there's some surprises here. If you are setting your goal out, Maeve here. Now, I had to look Maeve up. I'll read out her. She's a card that hasn't appeared very much when I've used this oracle. In fact, I can't actually recall. I'm sure she must have done, but I can't recall a time where she's come out before. So I was like, oh, yeah, I better check the description because I only half remember the legend of Maeve. Jisoo here is saying that there is support, and there's, with that support being faced off with the anger of Typhon, I also worry that if you allow your anger to get the better of you, you could end up damaging and destroying support, because there is destiny time in the offing. Uranus, we have Morgan Le Fay with magic, we have the Mirai with destiny, the fates. So there's a really important time coming up. So do not be distracted by anger. Do not be distracted by assumptions. And to a certain extent, do not be distracted right now with relationships, because you need to be focusing on your own. Because when I'm saying destiny here for the Morai, it's not oh, I'm going to win Britain's Got Talent or America's Got Talent or what have you. It's not an external destiny that I'm feeling, or at least it's not a public external destiny that I'm feeling. What I'm feeling here, certainly with Morgan Le Fay and Uranus, is that inner bit of you connecting with the outer, you know, the sort of realizing, what's the phrase, the universe in a grain of sand, or that realizing that all of the universe is in here and in here as well as out there. So there's some form of energetic activation that is coming your way, which seems quite beautiful, but you can upset it. You can get interrupted by this anger, by the day-to-day domestic dramas, by someone trying to lead you off of your path. You need to set your barrow out, be determined for your own inner work on this eclipse. Now, don't necessarily do magic on the 14 minutes of the eclipse itself, but as the moon grows more, use this. And remember, this is a South Node eclipse. It's about releasing. There's stuff you can get rid of, and if there's some residual anger there, you take every opportunity to get rid of that anger. Not maybe at the person that is directed at, you know, shout at a pillow, scream at a tree or something. Because that's the thing with Typhon here. As an archontic mask, that anger is misplaced. And all it is destructive. Let's see what the tarot have got to add to this. So from the Oracle of Heaven and Hell, we have Rehael with love and submission, and Mehiel with restoration of life. Both, Mehiel was hiding behind that card, so I was like, all right, you want to come out? And so that releasing the anger and releasing any form of codependency seems to enhance that sense of love, enhance that sense of love. It so if there's a relationship going on here, if you don't fall into those traps, you're actually going to have a nice meeting of equals. So yes, because you are being supported to move amongst your peers. And all you really need to do is protect yourself from those angers and those distractions Ooh. To really come into your power. I've got the Devil card here, but I'm feeling that almost like an anime film, or like a stage magician going da-da, appearing, but with, think about when Goku turns Super Saiyan, that aura that just booms and pulses out. So it's not so much, there's not an element of making deals there or anything like that, or going to the dark side or anything like that. It's a sense of structure, Capricorn energy, but also a sense of coming into your power by disconnecting from the local. And you know how Rick Levine on his videos says, think cosmically, act locally. And I would agree. And this reading is sort of saying that. But there's, you may be being local, but this is calling you to be cosmic. 10 of Cups with Uranus. 10 of Cups with that remoteness where you get to stand back. As long as you are dedicating yourself to some form of higher spiritual principle that is defined by you. Not that somebody else has come along and put this idea in your head. It's, I can see where this natural growth in me should be occurring. I'm going to spend some time looking and purely plugging into it, purely diffusing my energy and opening up to a bit of everything. And yes, I'm saying opening up, and some people will go, oh my God, protection. You are protected. You're protected by your own destiny here. You've got the Four of Pentacles with the Mirai. So let's have a look at how things can go wrong, because this is one of the reasons for these readings. So yeah, don't get stuck in a duality. High Priestess, as much as your intuition may want to lead you one way or another, it is a time for you to observe and gain power that way, not to do or act, or even so much with Uranus, even being. It's observing. That's the important thing. Sensing, feeling. Strength card with, so if there's relationship issues, do not stick to the same old standards. And I've got to be like this and they've got to be like that. Relationships are allowed to change and evolve as well. Right, so Vesta, there is a certain relationship element going on with this reading. We have the Two of Cups with Vesta. So I'll just give you my disapproving look, Pisces. It's just, I really feel that right now, also you've got that Venus-Neptune square going on, so that's not good. Right now, relationships are not to be your main focus. Your main focus can come through some form. Ignore people who are saying, you'll feel better if you do this, you'll feel better if you do that. No. You have the answers in you right here. And if you don't feel like you have the answers, you don't need to act. You don't need to even be. You just observe. You are an ever-shrinking point of awareness, receding into yourself as you shrink. You just notice that you is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because you're shrinking. Your point of awareness is shrinking. What I'm meaning by that there is I've said on other readings how I was taught to meditate. There was, you sit there and you listen and you identify every single sound that you can hear. And if it's a threat, get up and do something about it. If it's not a threat, label it, or you could say in a magical way, name it, dismiss it, move on to the next one, and then move on to the next one. And then the next thing that you hear is your mind going rabbit, 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 must do my homework, must pick that up from the shops, must see if I've got any Marmite left, have I hoovered the carpet, did I feed the cat, what will Billy want when he gets home from school today, how am I going to handle that meeting in a couple of weeks' time? I really need to do some planning about that. You know that they're looking at you, and they know that they can see that little roll of fat over your waist, or whatever that your mind is going on about. And again, listen to them, name them, dismiss them. And if one of those thoughts, like that last one, for example, is a threat, get up and do something about it. But obviously you're getting up and doing something about it in your mind now, because you can turn around to that thought and go, you know what, load of rot, load of nonsense. And then you sit back down. And so you're receding into the depths of your mind, or you're shrinking as your mind is just going around you. And you name and dismiss, name and dismiss. And then all you do is observe. But what you are observing once you get to that point, it feels like there's a wonderful, go meditate, right, Pisces, for this lunar eclipse, to whatever level that you're able to. If it's for 5 minutes or if it's for 2 hours, go meditate. Not necessarily on the eclipse, after. Once those 14 minutes of darkness have passed, once those 14 minutes of total eclipse have gone. Because you're going to find it very, very, very refreshing with Mehiel here, the Restoration of Life card. Now, I did promise that I would read out what Maeve is about. So, the Dark Goddess Foresight, because of course this is the Dark Goddess Oracle. A life-changing offer is imminent. So again, that's why you've got to be very, very practiced at observing, because there's a life-changing offer. 2 of Cups here. Stay home. Stay in the happiness we've defined so far, in exactly the rules that we've defined it. Because it's almost like, if you take the fact that this is in your 10th house, this eclipse, if it is a career thing, but yeah, I don't want to say that, because it just feels bigger and more intimate, more personal than a career thing. But if it is that, don't let distractions from home. I'm not saying that home is a bad thing. I'm just saying, in this one instance, don't let the distractions of it separate you from the determination, which Maeve is representing, that you need to focus on a spiritual goal. High Priest here, Hierophant. This is a beautiful time, Pisces, for you to be as wacky spiritual as you want and use all those energies. I spoke about Neptune, your modern ruling planet, at 22 degrees, a master number, conjunct Pallas. So yes, you're able to weaponize metaphors, but it also really increases your psychic awareness. Conjunct Orpheus. So diving into your own personal underworld, but remember to come back out again, like Orpheus did, but don't turn around at the last minute like he did, because keep that determination of Maeve here. Right, what else has she got to say? You will be forced to choose between 2 people. Yeah, well, I'll just leave that one there. That's what it says in the book. A promotion or job change presents itself. A career local politic beckons, and I won't go on about that one because you know what I'm like. Take charge of a domestic situation. I forgot that was there. Invitations will come thick and fast. Plan well and you can make the most of them all. So there's lots of good stuff coming in, but that good stuff can be disrupted by anger and can be disrupted by expectations of you on others especially, but to a certain extent to others on you, where you just have to go, no, hang on a minute, I'm having a bit of time to myself. And with Morgan Le Fay here, the independence that she tends to feel, that, yeah, have that bit of time to yourself. Now, she did get clarified appropriately by the Devil card. So whenever the Devil card comes up, I always like to, okay, who have we got? We have, well, we've got a few actually. We've got 4, so I'll take the lot of them. We have the Page of Wands with Balaam. So some form of message will be coming to you within this message, idea, whichever way we want to look at it. 6 of Pentacles, this process will have value. And like I say, with Uranus and Morgan Le Fay and the Morai, be as hocus pocus as you want to be, just not on that 14 minutes. We have the Ace of Swords. Right. A message will come to you which has value and gives clarity. And Hierophant. Giving you that sense of spiritual destination. And I'm going to say destination rather than destiny. So I would normally say, if this means anything to you, comment down below, and it might be part of an ongoing process. But the other thing I want to say is these domestic calls on you, these domestic effects that risk distracting you from your own path, they're not necessarily guilty. You know, that's just life. That's the archontic energies expressing themselves, absolutely. But the people expressing them are not the enemy, not the obstacle. It's your reactions to them that is the enemy and the obstacle if you go that way, if you fall prey to Typhon. And this Inanna, she was clarified by the Jack of Cups. So an idea that is presented to you that sounds great but hasn't necessarily got the metal that is required, the strength, the depth, the correct technique. The idea is a bit crap, really. Sounds great, looks awful. Sounds great, looks great, is awful. Once you start peeling away the layers. The other reason why I was saying all of this, with this, especially with this bottom row, I haven't gone onto the Angel card. We have, sorry, this lighting, it's after work tonight. It's not normally I'd film this late in the day. The Angel of Power. The power of divine love protects and enfolds me. Now, if you are just going on some of the new agey levels, there is an opportunity here of reaching out and being that love by observing it. Remember, you're not trying to be anything here. You will make more progress by not trying to be. I mean, I know sometimes we want to go out into nature and just be, and that's fine when you're just going out into nature. This is a different sort of nature that you're going out, and what you don't necessarily want to be, you want to see and just allow everything that you see, you know. And again, still name, dismiss, and you'll just see more and more and more. It's almost like that sense of, if you know your old Marvel, Captain Marvel's Cosmic Awareness, where he just links into the everything, and his awareness just expands and expands and expands and expands. And there's name, dismiss. This is a real, huge energy activation here. That's the way I say huge. But the words I was wanting to use earlier, you notice I kept saying shrinking. It's like the Ein Sof. It's ineffable. It's less than mist in your fingertips. but it is enormous. It is as present and as immaterial as gravity, but a lot lighter. That's pretty cool. And being a Pisces, sun not rising, I could do with being both right now. Then yeah, I think I will be spending a little bit of time doing some meditation, because I'm not a huge meditator, I will be honest. And certainly not sitting there cross-legged straight back concentrating on my breathing and a few ohms. That's not really me. But if you know the term link in, then simply link in. So I don't expect this to mean anything to you yet, Pisces, but if it does, comment down below. If it does later, please come back, because people do that on YouTube. Come back and comment, or just let me know that this reading was working for you. And my God, I've talked for 25 minutes, so I'm going to shut up and leave you. Like, share, subscribe, watch the astrology show, watch all the other things that I probably plugged in the intro, which I'm about to go and film now under different lighting. And yeah, see you later.